Welcome to a dose of deeper contemplation. We have cultivated this self-healing practice as we navigate the many aspects of modern life with the desire to be a better human. As a psychic medium, these conversations are channeled, so let's take a walk together and talk it out. This morning's contemplation began with a remembering of certain times when we would be out in a public area in some form, and a male, presenting as male, would approach and engage in conversation. It always felt like our responsibility to gently let that person off the hook, as they say. And what was interesting to reflect on is all of the times where that message wasn't received and that this male engager pursued in an effort to somehow convince me to not feel how I was feeling, and that I was doing our very best to politely communicate. There was a no or no thank you, or I'm okay, or no, and there would continue to be this, oh, come on, let's just say, in different words and all that stuff, but let's give it the nature of its energy. Just come on. No, come on. Come on. I'm going to change your mind somehow here. Instead of just honor what you say you're feeling. Right? We were curious around a remedy for this situation. And in that curiosity, what dropped in was giving the eye. Giving the eye. When there is a mutual attraction, folks tend to give each other the eye. You know, okay, you're casting over a signal. Now, what's important about this form of telepathic communication that we do in these social settings at times is to listen if you're casting the signal and if it's received and then returned. Now, we are giving this example based on our history of experience, which tend to be in heterosexual, cis, male-female relationships. But it's not, this interaction is not defined by any of that. By any means. It can be in any situation between two people. So there's two people. One person's giving the other person the eye. The other person notices and then sends the signal back. That signal could be the eye in return, in which then it's communicated initially that mutual attraction is at play. Now, another scenario is one person gives the eye to another person, and that is not returned. It's not returned. So, a very simple practice could be, unless that eye, giving the eye, right, unless it's a return to you, don't go talk to that person. It's fascinating how many encounters we have had where the eye was given, we noticed the eye, we did not feel similarly, and so the eye was not returned. And yet other person came over to engage in the conversation. Almost an immediate stepping over a boundary. It would be interesting to see the dynamics in the relationships shift, if we paid attention a little bit more to these signs, a reveal as to who another person is based on their behavior and their awareness of boundaries. Someone who is being pursuant is a red flag, as we like to call these signals, in any form and at any point in any relationship, where you're just getting the eye at the bar for the first time, or you've been dating for 6 months, or you've been together for 5 years. What is the dynamic of the relationship of honoring boundaries? Of you saying, I really feel it's a no for me. And that person's like, let me convince you otherwise because of what I want. What would happen if we became hyper attuned to this? No longer trying to convince or control. We want to go macro for just a moment and look at this through civilization. Because in order to shift any collective, it always begins with shifting ourselves. Within civilization, what are the pursuant energies of control? Convince and control. What are the societal structures in place that keep that mechanism going? You might hear some folks refer to this as the Matrix. You're aware of this, and it's something that you're interested in exiting, then there are some simple steps, actually, that we can do. It always begins with our own lives and our own selves. A simple step. Have an understanding that if you're giving the eye and the eye is not returned, no further conversation needed. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being with us today. This is Deep Dose, and we are Eden.